The Nintendo Switch launched with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but with no dedicated Zelda bundle. And to this day, the Nintendo Switch has received no official Nintendo bundle, Joy-Con, or even dock themed on the Legend. Naturally, this has left a big void that Etsy and third-party accessory partners of Nintendo have taken great advantage of with varying degrees of success. Anyway, the point is that Nintendo is more than likely deep in the development and production of the Nintendo Switch Mini and in the planning stages of the more powerful Nintendo Switch Pro. It isn't only rumors anymore, as the president of Nintendo, Shuntaro Furukawa, commented on the issue during Nintendo's annual shareholder meeting, to the great shock of the present shareholders. Question 8. There have been rumors of a new Switch model for the past 6 months. Are you developing such? Furukawa says, "We're aware of the reports. Answering rumors and speculation would take away any surprise and wouldn't help you shareholders, so I can't answer. Generally, we're always developing new hardware."
Naturally, this is a typical corporate comment. Furukawa, as a businessman and president of one of the world's largest video game corporations, would never answer yes or no to such a question, as it would send shockwaves from Kyoto to around the globe and impact current sales of the Nintendo Switch. A confirmation of Nintendo Switch Mini or Pro would result in consumers around the world holding back to join the growing numbers of Switch owners. A denial, on the other hand, would be considered as a lie, as there are reports stating that the Switch Mini is more than likely already in production. Deconfirming would also impact Nintendo's stock price, as the current expectation is that we will see Nintendo Switch revisions in the near future, now that the system is slowly but surely turning 2.5 years old. More interesting is that similar comments were uttered from Nintendo back before the DSi was revealed. So then, is this a sign of an upcoming reveal in coming days, weeks? Not really, as Nintendo in 2008 and 2019 are two very different companies. Back then, the only big presentation throughout the year was the E3 keynote. But today, instead of live press conferences at E3, we have Nintendo Directs every 3 to 4 months. That is also where it's most likely that we'll see the reveal of a Nintendo Switch Mini, and later down the line, Pro. Now then, before you begin screaming that the Switch Pro should also come out this year, consider this. Are there any first-party Nintendo games that need that extra power for upgraded visuals this year? The answer is no, as most games coming out up to March 2020, that will say Fire Emblem Three Houses, Zelda Top-Down Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Animal Crossing New Horizons, are titles that can be defined as 3DS immigrants to the Nintendo Switch. Now, you could make a case for The Witcher 3, but then again, that is a third-party port of a game from 2015. No, if we are to get the Nintendo Switch Pro with superior visuals and performance, then it has to be a massive first-party Nintendo title, and that is the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This title will for certain not come out until at the soonest holiday season next year, after a solid showcase at E3 2020. And here's another prediction. Just like E3 2019, we don't see E3 2020 having any hardware reveals, as it would still be too far away from Zelda and the possible launch of the Switch Pro, around the same time as PS5 and Xbox Project Scarlet in the fall of 2020. That and the fact that the Switch Pro will pale in comparison to the 8K beasts at E3, and cause potential Switch buyers to get on the fence and wait for Nintendo Switch Pro mid-gen revision to launch 5 months later, or even worse, decide to get a PS5 or the new Xbox instead. No, the best time to reveal both the Switch Pro and Switch Mini will be after summer break in September for a Nintendo Direct this year and next year. Here is why. Both 2019 and possibly 2020 appear to be big Zelda years. This September 20th we have the long-awaited remake of the Game Boy's Link's Awakening, a 2D top-down adventure that screams handheld Zelda, or if you prefer, the perfect candidate for a Nintendo Switch Mini launch title. But why Zelda in September, not Pokemon Sword and Shield in November? The answer is simple. Upon the reveal of the system, Nintendo will want as little time as possible leading up to its release, and Nintendo has precedent of doing these types of reveals only weeks prior to the launch of a revision system. We don't have to go further back than 2015 and the reveal and then the launch of the new Nintendo 3DS, which coincided with the release of, you guessed it, Majora's Mask 3D, another remake of a beloved Zelda title, and which gave us a Majora's Mask edition of the new 3DS XL. In the last few weeks we have heard more and more alleged planned accessories for the new Switch console, which is rumored appears to be smaller and lighter than the base Nintendo Switch version, with less power and hopefully longer battery life to match the needs and expectations of a handheld with console quality. But why Zelda and not Pokemon? The answer is simple. The September Nintendo Direct is the perfect place to reveal Nintendo Switch hardware and talk online news after both skipped E3 this year. Not only that, guess which game comes in the second half of September to the system? That's right, the remake of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, a title that is as made for a handheld system, with diorama-like art style and a top-down perspective. A Zelda genre that has more or less been exclusive to handhelds, since you guessed it, Link's Awakening on the Game Boy. If that isn't enough of a clue for you, then we have more, as Nintendo has since the Game Boy Advance SP Zelda Limited Edition pack with the Minish cap had a long tradition for bringing special controllers and systems to the table. However, we had to wait all the way until 2011 for the next bundles, with the Ocarina of Time 3D and Skyward Sword Limited Edition Legend of Zelda controllers and systems. With Ocarina of Time 3D, we got a Zelda Ocarina of Time Limited Edition 3DS system, while Skyward Sword delivered a Limited Edition Gold Wii Motion Plus. Then, in 2013, we received two more limited edition system bundle options. First, a black with gold details Wii U Wind Waker HD system, and then with A Link Between Worlds, probably the best version of the 3DS XL, filled with more gold color than you can possibly imagine. But that isn't the end of it, as the new 3DS XL launched in February of 2015 with a limited edition Majora's Mask 3D bundle, and then the next year, for the 30th anniversary of the franchise in 2016, a new 3DS XL Hyrule edition. Finally, in 2017 we got a 2DS Ocarina of Time Green edition, and last year the new 2DS XL Hylian Shield edition. Then we have the Nintendo Switch and, well, we have really nothing. Since the launch in 2017, the Nintendo Switch has not had a single limited edition system revision, and then don't get me started on having one with a Zelda theme. This comes as a great surprise when we all know that Breath of the Wild is the grandest, most awarded and best performing Zelda title of all time. Then why haven't we had a Nintendo Switch Zelda system or controller bundles? The answer is simple. Breath of the Wild launched with the Nintendo Switch, and despite hopes for a gold Joy-Cons, Nintendo only released two Switch options for the launch, the regular grey Joy-Cons and the red and blue combo. However, since then most Nintendo releases have brought special Joy-Cons, Pro controllers and system bundles. This list is long and stretches from ARMS, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Monster Hunter Generations, Pokemon Let's Go, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. As you can see, Zelda and Breath of the Wild is missing from this list, but we think it is deliberate, as Nintendo has most likely for quite some time been planning to reveal the Nintendo Switch Mini, with a Link's Awakening Switch Mini limited edition system in the traditional September Nintendo Direct. The Nintendo Direct of the year, which is renowned for revealing new hardware and services. Examples? Got you covered once again. Since in the 2017 September Nintendo Direct, the Super Mario Odyssey system bundle was revealed, while last year Nintendo detailed Nintendo Switch Online, revealed the Switch NES controller for Switch Online, and the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Switch bundle. So what will the September Nintendo Direct have in store for this year? Our guess is the reveal of the Nintendo Switch Mini with a Link's Awakening limited edition launch bundle, and SNES games for Nintendo Switch Online. Those would alone mark for an amazing presentation, along with more information on games like Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Witcher 3, etc. Maybe some games we haven't heard about in quite a while like Town, and you name it, maybe even Bayonetta 3. It's possible. It will be after Astral Chain after all. In other words, it looks like we have 2 long months ahead of us where President Furukawa or any other Nintendo representative will just continue to reply, "We are aware of the reports. Answering rumors, speculation would take away any surprise, so I can't answer. Generally, we're always developing new hardware." Patience is key in this game, both for the Nintendo Switch Mini and Pro, but it looks like the launches could coincide with Zelda releases and thus Zelda bundles. Say, with Link's Awakening on September 20th in the case of the Mini, and followed by a Pokemon Sword and Shield Mini bundle on November 15th. As for a Pro system, the only thing that makes sense is to launch it with a system seller, and that would no doubt be the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Let's remember, beginning from the fall of 2020, that will say next year, Nintendo will have to deal with the 8K PlayStation 5 and Xbox Project Scarlet. And the only thing that can restore confidence is the sequel to Breath of the Wild with superior performance and frame rate and resolutions in at least Full HD on the Nintendo Switch Pro. Along with it, we are likely to finally get the Nintendo Switch Bundle we have been waiting for when it comes to Breath of the Wild and Zelda. That will say Zelda-themed dock, Joy-Cons, Pro Controller, you name it. This could be Nintendo's strategy for the Nintendo Switch Mini and Pro. Switch Mini launching in time for what we would consider the big handheld push this fall and early 2020 with Link's Awakening, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Animal Crossing New Horizons. While the Nintendo Switch Pro, pushing Nintendo's hardware and software limits, will be perfect with the Breath of the Wild sequel for holidays 2020. From a financial perspective, it will make so much sense for Nintendo and their stockholders, but also keep Nintendo in the game when the launch of PS5 and Xbox Project Scarlet arrives. Why? As it will leave you with an important decision that fall for the next chapter of the console wars. Do I get the Xbox 8K with a Halo Infinite, PlayStation 5 with The Last of Us Part 2, or Nintendo Switch Pro with Breath of the Wild 2? What do you think of all of this? Do you think that the Zelda launch strategy in September 2019 and holiday 2020, along with a Nintendo Switch Mini and Pro, is what Nintendo is going for? Leave your reply in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, then make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and press that notification bell for all notifications. You may also consider joining as one of our Patreon supporters on patreon.com/commonrealm. Shoutout goes to our royal producers Kenyatta Ali and Bradley Carriage. And also, make sure to check out these awesome videos.